So here basically the first table now contain all the information in the original first table, as well as some additional information from the second and third table. Okay, so that's gonna be the merge table. So sometimes you once you finish the merge, you may want to actually delete those table 2 or table 3 because the information in those tables are already contained in the first table. However, if you just select this two and right click and choose the delete, Power BI will tell you cannot delete those two tables because basically all the information, part of the information in the first table actually was from those other two tables. So if you delete the other two tables, it will hurt the data integrity in the first table. So basically Power BI would not allow you to delete the other two tables. But anyway, we're going to use the first table, and because that's all the combined information, and do some house cleaning here. This is basically text format. That's all right. This is percentage format. This is number format. Okay, this is not. This is kind of look like a text format, and this also text format. This text format. So we're going to change those text format into numbers. Okay. So for this cumulative emissions, click on this kind of data type icon, and you can change it to decimal number. Yep. And for this, again, decimal number. All right. For this one, well, there's plus and minus, but anyway, let's try change it to percentage. Well, here you see a problem. Before the change, we have positive numbers and negative numbers. However, once we change the format from text to percentage, the negative numbers turns out to be an error. Let's just delete the last step we just took. Okay, so we reverse this last step. Okay, so now we have this restored to the original format. So what's the problem there? Perhaps Power BI didn't recognize the sign as a kind of mathematical sign. All right, because if you pay close attention, this negative sign is not really the negative thing. It's kind of a longer dash, okay, which is not this negative sign. The plus sign is fine because apparently Power BI recognizes it. That's why when you do the conversion, right? When you do the conversion to percentage, all those positive numbers actually remain all right. Only the negative numbers come up with error. And the error, as I said, is perhaps caused by that longer dash. Okay, just Power BI didn't recognize that longer dash as a negative sign. You have to change that longer dash into a real negative sign. So how do we do that? Again, let's restore to the original status by uncheck this last step. Okay, so what I have in mind is I'm going to split this column into two. And I'm going to split it regarding the number of characters. So we're going to only take the first character, which is the sign. Okay. So number of characters we're going to kind of split is going to be the first. And then we're going to split once as far left as possible. We're going to take the leftmost sign, okay, the very first leftmost sign from this values in this column. All right. So let's click OK. Okay, now you see the signs are taken out as a separate column, and the numbers are left as the remaining of the column. So now the one column becomes two. Okay, that's why it's called split column. So the original, the absolute value is going to be kept in this column, but the sign is going to be kept in the other column. So let's do another exercise, because we still need to make sure this 21% is going to be a negative 21%. Okay, so we need to do that change. So first of all, let's do the replacement, because here this kind of a longer dash is not exactly the negative sign, so we'll make a change. So let's do a replacement. Replace values. Value to find. Well, okay, you can just copy. Well, before I do this, I should cancel this. Before you do this, you should copy this one. Okay, copy this longer dash. Then you go to the replace values. You replace this longer dash with a negative sign. Okay, you click OK. All right, so you see in this column, all the longer dash now being replaced with the negative sign. You can see the negative sign is like shorter. Okay, so yeah, turns out that's a problem. Sometimes, well, our eyeballs just cannot really distinguish that tiny difference in terms of the length of the sign. However, Power BI is very strict, and it cannot recognize a longer dash as a negative sign. So once you have that, you can just again just combine these two columns back into one column if you wish. All right, so select both columns and right click on one of them, and there's going to be choice merge columns. Okay, this will enable you to combine these two columns together. We don't need any separator, we just need the sign followed immediately by the absolute value. So the new column name after the merge, I will call it percentage change from 2000. I'll click OK. See, now this the number and the sign are combined together. Now let's see if we can change this text into a number. So click on this sign, and I'm going to choose percentage. Yeah, now it seems all the text format changed to a percentage format. There might be some errors here. You can see. All right, there's one error. You can just move your mouse to this kind of small red segment. It will indicate you how many problematic observations are there. So there's one observation which turns out to be an error, okay, which is not to be a big concern because there's just one error. Okay, if you check back, okay, I'm not going to do the check at this point. If you check back, original data for this country is not a number. It's just a phrase called no change. All right, so that's why when we do this transformations, that phrase cannot really be turned into a number. But once you realize that mistake, you can just replace this with a number 0. Okay, but again, that's not the main purpose of this exercise, so I'll just ignore that. Okay. Well, so when you are done with the transformation of data, the last thing you need to do is just close and apply all the steps you have taken, and then Power BI is going to work on loading and transforming the data into this Power BI desktop file. And eventually, once everything's done, you can just go to File tab and save this file in a location that you prefer. So now this all the data are loaded here, and you can check the structure of the table. And I believe the second one is the one we merged everything together. Okay, so now it looks fine, and we'll just again, as I said, go to the File tab and save it at the location that you prefer.